everyone, Nico here from the Hyperactive Bookworm. So I did my September wrap up, and not many people will be surprised if you know anything about me. Somehow I managed to not notice when the dog bumped the camera at one point, and for one of the books I ended up, you can still hear the review, but you're looking at my feet. So I'm just going to quickly update that one and redo that review. But the rest, yes, it's all there. So this is my September wrap up bookshelf, 12 books, all that jazz. So hopefully you'll like it, and obviously you'll see which one I had to re-record. Yay! All right. Hey everyone, Nico here from the Hyperactive Bookworm. I'm a little bit hyper today, but I'm excited. I'm just really under the pump. I've had total burnout, and because of that, I have read so many books last month. But I'm a little late in getting my, September wrap up done. But here, puppy just ate the remote. Get out of it! I found it. Okay. Anyway, so I'm here to do the September. Yes, hello. The September wrap up of my book. So as I'll say, because I was in a bit of a total burnout with life and writing and everything else, I kind of dived in a bit more to books. So I actually ended up, oh my God, enough. Sit. Hello. So I ended up reading 12 books in September, which is huge. Some absolutely I love to death books, some contradictory, caught up, really unsure about books. So, but we'll get into it. So I'm a bit excited. So anyway, the first book we have, I started the month so strong with Malice, by Heather Walter. Oh my God, this book is like, oh my God, it's so delicious. So this is a book about Sleeping Beauty, except from, Maleficent's point of view sort of thing. Alice's point of view. Alice is fabulous. This whole world that she created is so fantastic. Like, I have never been that big a Sleeping Beauty fan. I love fairy tales. I love twisted fairy tales, fractured fairy tales, but I've never really, I've just never really been into it. Even the Angelina Jolie Maleficent movie, I liked. Could give or take, but this book, this book is just everything. It was beautiful. Beautifully written, beautifully crafted. The world was just so engaging. This whole idea of you reap what you sow. The characters, oh my God. And Alice, it's just, they're so relatable, and I love her. And the end just kind of blew me away. And I didn't realize when I was reading it, it is a duology. And I was like, you can't freaking end this book like this. Then I realized it's supposed to end like that, so that you want to read the second one. And I do. I cannot wait for the second book. So this is a massive one of my favorites of the month. I think I have 3, maybe 4. I don't remember. But definitely one of my top reads for the month. All right. So the second one was No Good Reason. The Dark Peak series, book 1 by Kari Hunter. Oh my God. She's fantastic. It is so cool. Okay, so, me, big lesbian, love reading about lesbians, love having that representation, getting frustrated about only seeing romance. I'm not anti-romance, but it is not a genre that I particularly liked. Have liked in the past, loving the lesfic genre of romance that I've read, but I do feel like I just want representation in other genres that I love to read, and this book has it. It's so good. So it's a mystery thriller. It's about a cop and a doctor, and there is this kind of romantic thread through it, but the book is so great. I thought it was absolutely riveting and heart-pounding. Curry's writing is absolutely delicious. I love the hints and insights to these characters. Meg is just absolutely, I adore Meg. She is just fabulous, and the writing is a bit brutal. But I do love these characters, right? These two main characters, they have all these similarities. They're best mates, but never once did I get confused about whose head I was in, or who was doing what, or who was saying what. And it was just so beautiful because they are so similar but so different, and they complement each other. And that was just, wow, I loved it. Okay, so the next book I read is A Little Bit of Spice by Georgia Beers. It's my first Georgia Beers, and I know, oh, gasp, shock, horror, but it is. Get down, please. And it was good. I really enjoyed it. I thought the enemies to lovers trope was pretty cool. Intensely hot sex scenes. The complications of the story, they were fun and entertaining, and it was an enjoyable read. But to be fair, when the first line of a book is, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I was pretty sure I was going to like it. So very Aussie, but yeah, I did enjoy that. Oh, Mazuki. She's my little mascot. I was talking to a mate today, talking about how she keeps interrupting the videos. She's like, "She's your mascot." I'm like, absolutely, my little mascot. Anyway, hello, mascot. All right. Right, the next book I read, not lesfic, is actually part of a series. I read a few books of this series this month, September, and they were great, but I will do individual reviews on all of them. Well, of the ones I've read this month. So Heart of Thorns, Terror in the Sky by Chris Hewitt. It's from the After series from Erie River Publishing. It was awesome. I loved the mix of mystery, and I loved the family drama aspect. One of the characters, and now I've completely blanked on her name, but one of the daughters, oh, I friggin' love. I want more of her story. I have since found out that there will be more of this world, of these characters, of this story, and I'm so excited about that. I really hope we get more of her. Seriously, I've completely blanked on her name, but she is just kick ass. I absolutely love her. So that was a great read. So the next book I read was also from the After series, and it is called Sin Chaser, Terror from the Heavens by S.O. Green. They are amazing. They are the most, wow. It is one of my favorites of the series and one of my favorite reads for the month. So I'm really excited by that. It's so amusing to me because I'm very much a naturalist. I don't go into the whole religion thing, but I'm so drawn to books that question and go attack that religious aspect, but there's belief in them too. But this was just so beautifully written. And Green's turn of phrase, just, it was just so spot on. So brilliantly spot on. The ramp up of the tension was just incredible. Like, you just built and you just couldn't stop. Well, I could not stop reading this. It was an absolutely brilliant take on the 7 deadly sins, which I just thought so friggin' good. So, and post-apocalyptic, obviously. This After series is all about after an apocalypse happening. And yeah, that it's just, go check it out. It is so good. S.O. Green is amazing. I cannot wait to read more of their stuff. Okay, the next book I read was 5 Moons Rising by Liz McTagg. Now, I did enjoy this book. Don't get me wrong. I did enjoy this book. It was a good book. But I just got bogged down a bit by it. it started so strong and dark and gritty, and then it didn't, for me, it didn't quite pull me through that same tone. I thought it got a bit lost in a little bit of it. For me, it felt like it was two books, two very different genres coming together, but not quite blended, as well as I have read, which was a bummer because it was still a really good book. I did get confused about a few points in the story as to why the characters did certain things. But I did love the world building, and I will be looking into the second of the series because I would like to see if it does get back to that gritty darkness. The next book, oh my god, I did a review on this book and I love it and I love it and I love it and I can't wait to read it again. This is The Art of Magic by KJ. Oh, Kath is so my absolute, yes, I'm playing with the dog. Kath is my spirit animal. I love her. She's just brilliant, sarcastic, witty. The banter is fabulous. I just loved it. And then you throw in magic realism, and it was just the most delicious book. I am aiming to read the next book, which is actually the first one of that series, and I'm reading it all out of order. But Coming Home, I have it up there on my pretty new bookshelf. So that's an October read, definitely. All right, so the next book I read was Darkness Falls by Casey Luck. I'm so incredibly torn by this book, and I don't think all of it is the book's fault, really. So I picked up this book with the idea that it was a apocalyptic book, which I love. Me, my speculative fiction with queer characters, bring it on. However, I'm reading the book and thinking, oh my god, I've got it wrong. This is not what I thought it was going to be. Turns out it is, but not until like chapter 13 or 14, which to me was a really long time. So it starts as a romance story, 4 protagonists. So, you know, 2 fledgling relationships. One is fledgling, and the second one is second chance. I actually liked the characterizations, the build-up of them. And it was good when the apocalypse happened to understand the characters' reactions. I just felt like a really long time to get to the actual apocalypse. The actual apocalypse part, I loved. It was awesome. Some really good writing. The chase scene was great. Chase scene? Yeah, it was sort of a chase scene. And, you know, just the things that they came up against, and that try-fail cycle was really clear and kind of very interesting. However, I did get a bit frustrated that it still focused more on the romance. For me, it's not really an apocalypse story. It's a romance with a little apocalypse thrown in, which is fine, and some people might love that. That's what they want. To me, I wish I hadn't picked it up thinking of it as an apocalypse story, because it wasn't for me. My biggest issue with the book, though, is pretty much the end. I really liked the characters Lexi and Taylor, the 2 butch characters of the relationships, which, yeah, that sort of bugged me, the dynamics of, you know, butchers being proactive and, you know, athletic and all that stuff. But these things happen, so, you know. Their relationship, I actually liked. That, to me, they felt the most genuine. The actual romantic relationships, I don't know. They didn't catch me as much. But what I really didn't like is the end didn't feel like, for one of the characters, she was quite aggressive and controlling and dominating. and it just seemed so out of left field for the character development. I didn't see that in her characterization. So to me, that was really off-putting. So yeah, so not a bad book overall, just I guess I had different expectations, which not the author's fault. That's me going in thinking I'm getting an apocalypse story, not a romance with an apocalypse in it. But yeah, I'm not a fan of the aggressive sort of, but other people are. So yeah, it's all good. All right, so the next one I read is Derelict by T.M. Brown. This is another one from the After series. Do love the whole idea and investigation into a world where the oceans have receded. Like, what is left behind? What is the derelict of humanity? I guess it's really. And the end was just fabulous. And yeah, that was a good read. But yeah, it did take me a bit to get into it, but it is worth getting into it. All right, the next book is Rescued Heart by Georgia Beers. This was my next Georgia Beers book. I didn't like it as much. I thought, and I think the main thing I didn't like about it was there was case of workplace sexual harassment, and it was sort of brushed aside. It was flippant. I didn't understand why it was in there to be just so flippantly not addressed. That really pissed me off. I did like the characters. I thought there was some really awesome things. I'd love to know more about the main characters, their lives, their families. I thought were really fascinating. But yeah, that kind of just really ticked me off. Like, it felt like it was building up, and what we got, for me, wasn't a big enough payoff, I guess. Okay, the next book was the second book in the Dark Peak series by Carrie Hunter. Yes, the dog keeps pushing everything aside. Cold to the Touch. Oh my God, I love this even more. I thought the first book was great, but this sequel, holy shit, it was fabulous. It was so dark and gritty, but on a real world level, and it was just, oh my God, it was so great. I loved Sana and, get down, and Meg, like, their past and complications get more put into it. The heartbreak in it. I love the red herrings and the breadcrumbs, and everything was so perfectly placed, and I never once kind of thought, what the hell? Like, it pulled you, like, you just flowed with the story. And I have to say, the narrator, which now I can't remember her name, Nikki Victoria, I will have to put that up. She did such a brilliant job, and I can't wait to actually read the third book, because the second book blew me away. So I love that. One of my top reads. All right, the next book, my last book for the month, was another After series book. I love this series. Honestly, it's so great. So this one was Fading Echoes by Joel R. Hunt. Holy shit, it was so great. It was a fantastic take on the apocalypse. I did have one small confusion during it, which kind of pulled me out of it, but then it sort of got answered later, and that was cool. But the rest of it, oh my God, like, I just love the idea. It's this kind of, and I saw Joel talking about this book, and he was talking about how the main idea became a minor idea in it, and I love it. And it's about the idea of what would happen if if people became NPCs, so non-player character, for all you non-gamers out there, like in games. And it's just goes from that, and it's just so marvelous. I loved this book. So it was a really great way to end the month. So they're the 12 books I read for the month. I really don't work well on to-be-reads. Like, I don't like even telling myself what the hell to do, but like I said before, I will be reading the Coming Home from KJ this month. I've got one more book of the After series to do, which I'm halfway through, and oh my god, I just want to get back to it. The rest, we'll see how October comes. I know everyone else is doing spooky reads and stuff, and no doubt I will, but I'm loving it. In September, because I've read so many books as well, I've actually finished my unicorn badge and my dragon badge for Jay's reading challenge. And I will do videos for them shortly. Yeah. So that's my sum up for September. As always, I'll put all the books down below. Bye, y'all.